Small little 2-game road trip here, and the Flyers make it 2 wins, 2 games in a row. They sweep the back-to-back, and they get 4 out of a possible 4 points here out on the little West Coast trip. So the Flyers, they take care of the Coyotes. They win this game 5-3. A lot of positives in this one. Really starting off the opening hop. The lines were the same as last game against Vegas. If you missed that game, missed those lines. Lawton with Couturier, Konechny, Frost, Giroux, Atkinson, Willman, Hayes, JVR, Lindblom, Brown, and McEwen. Defense was the same. Provorov, Braun, Sanheim, Ristolainen, Yandel, and Kanon. Only difference was Martin Jones was in net for this one. Carter Hart, again, was fantastic last night, and it made sense for Jones to play in this one. And right off the hop, as I said, the Flyers, they get an early goal. James Van Riemsdyk scores, and Coyotes are coming up the ice, and JVR picks the pocket, skates in, realizes he has a good amount of time, holds, waits, shoots it under Vejmelka's pad, 1-0 Flyers. Not even 45 seconds later, Jay Beagle scores to tie, and it's just really, essentially that was atrocious defense in front by the Yandel and Connaughton pair, and also the, Hayes, JVR, and Willman, who were pretty much really in no man's land there. Just nobody picked up a stick. Everybody was just kind of watching the play, and it felt like a lot throughout this game. The Hayes line was stuck in the defensive zone for a good amount of time. Happened on the second Coyotes goal. And they also had a lot of chances where the Coyotes had more zone time and things like that. Flyers' first line was stuck in their own zone a little bit. Everything Arizona had was kind of the outside, which was very similar to what had happened in the last game versus the Coyotes back in early November when the Flyers shut them out 3-0 at home. And, a lot of what Arizona had in that first period and a lot of the game was to the net. Everything was perimeter. They had some chances in the first, but in the second and the third, the Flyers really shut them down. And after that, the Flyers ended up winning that game 3-0, and that was pretty similar in this one. After the Flyers were stuck in their own zone, they essentially dominated the rest of the period, it seemed like in my eyes. They got a power play, really nice passing from the second unit, had some quick passing, had a chance off a Provorov shot in front. A lot of passing from the first unit there. They didn't really have anything through to the net, though. They had a couple good more shifts after that, puck movement, shots from the point. We've seen a lot of that in these last 2 games. They've activated their D-men, getting more shots from the point. Sanheim threw a puck to the net, almost went in. If there was a Flyer in front that didn't have their stick tied up, they might have been able to get something there, but Vejmelka ended up covering it. JVR almost scores here. Hayes had a pass in front after Willman actually was knocked off a check through the zone. He just basically bulldozed right around the Coyotes player, went through. JVR almost scores. Konechny almost slips 1-5-hole. Really good shift there by the first line. Then Arizona gets a power play late. It was a hook on Yandel. Flyers were stuck in their own zone, and they must have held the puck for like a minute 20 seconds. And again, everything was to the perimeter, nothing really to the net. And as that happens, Flyers call that off. Really good penalty kill, though. Basically kill off the entire thing. They really didn't have anything going there. Pretty good period overall, though. The Flyers really dominated most of the territorial play, needed the next goal. And this game was so winnable. Obviously, you could tell just as the game was going on, I definitely felt like the Flyers were going to win this game. I felt like you could see that as the game was developing and as the Flyers were getting more chances. Second period, Flyers call off the rest of the penalty. Coyotes had some really pressure. Jones had a couple good saves. They definitely moved out of the zone very easily, in my eyes. It felt like it was a quick pass up from their defenseman to somebody at the red line, and then they got in. And when they were doing that, the one thing the Flyers did really well throughout really the entire game was move it from D to D behind the net and just go get it out. Their breakouts were very quick, easy. They made it simple for themselves, and they had a 4-on-2 rush here that didn't work. Ristolainen had a shot that got blocked. Sanheim had a chance seconds before that just rolled in the crease, and then the Flyers score. Konechny bounces off a check off the wall, goes to the middle, and Lawton ends up basically slamming home the garbage there in the slot. 2-1 Flyers. Konechny sets up Couturier, almost a very similar play as we almost saw earlier in the game, as the Flyers had a play where Couturier just took it to the net and went to kind of wrap it around. It was similar to the first goal of the game for Arizona, and the Flyers just couldn't get anybody to slam it home was the issue. So that happens there. Giroux had a nice setup for Yandel. He had a shot then that he went for Atkinson's stick, just went wide. Looked like he just missed the outside of the post. And then the Flyers, again, the Hayes line was kind of just standing around in the zone, and they score. Schmaltz shoots it from the point, and the original goal was credited to Labushkin, because when I had saw it, I was like, did that go in? Because when I heard it, it made a different sound than when it would if it was the back bar or the crossbar. It kind of it wasn't any like ping or anything like that. It just made a really weird sound. I was like, okay, that might be a goal. And then they scored on the rebound anyway. So it didn't matter. It was a goal, regardless. And it's 2-2. But the Flyers are just standing around. It's that Hayes line. There was a turnover before, and they're stuck. And it's kind of felt like, obviously, the Flyers definitely were tired. This is, 5 games in 7 days. This is back-to-back. Had some travel going from Vegas to Arizona. So that was obviously a factor in this game as well. But it felt like from the start, the Hayes line was kind of just stuck in the defensive zone. It felt like Hayes was a little slower in this game. Not that he played bad, just looked slow overall. And then the the eventual game winner in this game comes from Brown, and Vlamilka goes to come out, play it, fans on it. Brown takes the gift, and the Flyers get the 3-2 lead 41 seconds later. Then they get a power play. So that's how crazy hockey is, where the game can change in a matter of seconds like that. You get a crazy goal from there, you get a power play, Flyers score on the power play, JVR scores. That might get taken back to Konechny, even though the one angle showed it pretty clear JVR tipped it. Really nice passing, though. It was a scramble in front. Yandel made a nice play to hold on to it for a second, kind of get the Coyotes defenders to kind of come back out and then go right back in. Throws it over to Konechny, he shoots it. And again, deflected by JVR. So that's JVR, his second of the game. He's got 3 goals here in the last 2 games. He's played really well, and he's definitely starting to get some confidence. And he's looked good with Willman. I've actually really liked Max Willman in the last handful of games, but JVR does take a penalty. So he's been in the box the last 2 games. He's scored goals. He's been all over the score sheet. So penalty there. Flyers killed it off. Really wasn't anything crazy for Arizona. Really nice play here by Frost in close. He made a nice play on Keller to get the puck off of him and out. Coyotes were pressing here, and Frost made a nice play in front of the net to clear it, to get it right out of harm's way. And then Keller was kind of holding on, and then he made another play then to knock that out of the zone. Hayes line again stuck in the zone. Everything was to the outside, but again, not the first time that's happened. I put that here in my notes because I saw it continuously, and it just felt like they were kind of got caught flat-footed a couple times. End of the period, good period overall for the Flyers. Had some really good shifts. Scored 3 goals, another power play goal. And the Flyers actually get a power play to start the third. There was a penalty at the 20-minute mark. Mayo had a cross-check. Really nice puck movement. Nothing really crazy, though. They really moved the puck well since the changes on the bench had happened. And we've seen different things and different strategies that they did. And they actually had a set play off the face-off that they won, executed it perfectly, got into the zone, made a couple nice passes, couldn't get anything through to the net, though. Braun and Provorov had a nice play to break up a 2-on-1. Jones had a nice save on Schmaltz. Ghost ended up forced to play. That was arguably Jones's best save of the game. One where they were like, you had to rely on the goaltender for that one. Probably one of the Coyotes' best chances of the game, honestly. But besides that, the Flyers, again, they still kept taking it to Arizona, which is one thing that was really good in this game. They took it to them. They didn't really give them much space. And they get another goal. 5-2, Drew scores. Beautiful pass by Atkinson. Perfectly executed 2-on-1. And the Flyers make it 5-2. Drew scores 5-hole. Lawton almost stuffs one home. And then Krause would score to make it 5-3 Arizona. And that's when you were kind of like, oh, no, don't let this happen. But Flyers were very, it felt like they were a little lackadaisical in the last, handful of minutes there, just because they looked slow, and obviously the fatigue was getting to them from playing a back-to-back. But one thing they did really well, once the Coyotes got in, again, they went D to D along the wall. They really weren't many turnovers in that area, and if there was at least a forward there to get it out. There wasn't anything that was really harmful or anything like that came off of turnovers, but there were very few in this game. But as I said, they got it behind the net, through and out, and they just played really good in the defensive zone. Coyotes with the empty net and the timeout late, 1 minute 37 left, and that was it. Flyers won at 5-3, so a lot of good things. Obviously, JVR's, picked it up. Well, obviously, the teams picked it up, but JVR's looked good. They've been getting, quality saves at quality times, and the power play looks good. They just look overall like a better team, and hopefully this is a stretch where they can definitely pick up some wins because they have some games coming up. I'm going to pull up the schedule here, and it's not a really tough month compared to what you just had in November, but it's definitely not easy. Um, so they have 7 games left in this month. New Jersey on the 14th, Canadians on the 16th, Senators on the 18th, Washington on the 21st, Pittsburgh on the 23rd, Seattle on the 29th, and San Jose on the 30th. The Flyers have a lot of winnable games there. Obviously, the 2 toughest ones are Washington and Pittsburgh. 3 games here coming up. New Jersey, Montreal, and Ottawa. 2 of these games are at home, and you definitely can win these games. The Flyers go home. Then they go on the road Thursday, back home Saturday. So we'll see what happens here coming up. Hopefully the Flyers are able to pick up a couple wins here because that would be really nice. And yeah, it's good to see this team win again. Hopefully they can continue that moving forward. Let me know your guys' thoughts below on the game. Remember to check out Garrett Group Construction for any home improvement needs, and also to butt ends. You can use code PHI for 10% off your order for any hockey grip you like. Thank you guys for watching. Go Flyers, and I'll see you all again soon.